Alrighty, guys. Well, we will get started. Thank you for joining Long's weekly coffee break. My name is Lindsay Flater, and I am on the sales team here at Long for the air distribution department. Today, I have Miles here. He's actually joining us from Hawaii, up bright and early to do this for us. So thank you, Miles. He is with Specified Controls, and he's our regional guy and is here to talk a little bit about gas detection. And Miles, I'll let you take it away.
Sounds great. Thank you, Lindsay, for setting this up and inviting me to do this. I really appreciate it. It is very early. We are actually just getting our sunrise, so bright and early. But as Lindsay said, my name is Miles Wilkins. Work with Specified Controls. We're a manufactured controls company. I'm the Western Territory Manager, and I work with Long and Lindsay specifically. And one of the products one of the product lines that we have is our turnkey gas detection. And so that's what I'm going to be talking about today. So our turnkey gas detection is different from our competitors in a couple different ways, and I'll be going over that towards the end of the slide. But I wanted to go over what makes us unique at the beginning. Our gas detection is very high quality. We have less than a 0.5% return rate on our gas detection. Very reliable, and we make it as simple as possible to install and configure. One of the ways we do this is with the process that we use. We go through the process of quoting and submitting. Once we receive the plans, if the engineer knows that they'd like to have gas detection, but they'd like a little bit of help actually placing the gas detection sensors, they would just send us the mechanical plans, and we have a way in order to place the sensors and space them accordingly with a 50-foot radius in order to make sure that we have full coverage. If the sensors are already placed, then we would just quote out the equipment that we would recommend and create a submittal, and Lindsay and I would send that over. It normally takes less than a day, but sometimes, things get busy. And so I say 1 to 2 days for the lead time there. After the submittal has been approved and we're ready to go, our engineering team actually puts together a completely customized AutoCAD wiring diagram. We call it our engineering package, and it shows exactly how to wire up the sensors, the controller. We ask for a exhaust fan control or a exhaust fan submittal. That way we know exactly what kind of motor the exhaust fan is using, and we know exactly how it would be wired up to our gas detection controller. So it's very turnkey for the installation of our gas detection. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about how it's going to be wired up. You have the wiring diagram right in front of you for that specific project. Once that's been approved, we would move into programming our controllers and sensors. Our engineering team sits down, programs the controller and sensors for that specific project, and then we ship out. Each of those two parts of the process takes 2 weeks, so 4 weeks total from us receiving the PO. We also have optional features such as startup, especially if it's your first time using our gas detection. We always recommend adding the startup feature, where our engineer actually visits the job site and he makes sure that everything is got ahead of me there and he makes sure that everything is wired correctly, is set up correctly. All the sensors are working correctly. He takes a test gas and just makes sure that everything is working and functioning as it should. We also have an optional quick build feature. That way, if for some reason you realize that you need gas detection on this project, or your other supplier fell through, has longer lead times, whatever the case may be, we can hop in and get you your gas detection within 2 weeks. So we cut off 2 weeks from the total lead time from 4 weeks to 2 weeks. Jumping into the actual sensors and controllers and the equipment. This is our sensor. It's our Q5 sensor. It can be used as a standalone sensor or with an entire gas detection system with a control panel. It comes with 3 programmable relays and 0 to 10 volt output. Therefore, it can control modulating dampers, spring close, power open, dampers, louvers, exhaust fans, a horn strobe, whatever you need. This sensor can do it. So for the smaller jobs, you may just need a sensor or two, and you don't need a panel. So there's cost savings in just using the sensors in that situation. If it's a larger project, then we can then we can tie that in with some of our control panels. It can be wall mounted or duct mounted, whatever you need in that situation. It has the LCD display. So if for some reason the parts per million threshold needs to be changed, you can change that out in the field, and our engineering team can walk you through how to reprogram the sensors or controller. We have virtually any type of gas that is detectable that we can add the sniffer for our gas detection sensors, and it has an onboard audible buzzer in case you just need a buzzer and there's no horn strobe that's needed. So if you're needing 2 gas detection sensors, then the most common is CO and NO2. This is our cost saving way in order to supply that, where you have one sensor that has the LCD display and one sensor that is just a cover, and you're able to program both with that LCD display. We call that our Q6. This is most common in parking garages, like enclosed parking garages where you need both CO and NO2. Onto our controllers. This is our smallest controller. So for some of the smaller jobs where you need 4 sensors or less and you'd like to have a control panel, this would be the one that you would use. It has internal relays of 4 to 20 milliamp outputs, LCD display, NEMA 4 enclosure. It does have a light to indicate if a threshold has been met for each of these sensors, and an onboard buzzer. So if you think that you can get away with just using that for the alarm, then it's already set up with the panel. If you'd like the horn strobe, then we can add that as well. This is the M controller. This is the next step up. It has up to 32 sensors and has the audible onboard buzzer, LCD display, NEMA 1 enclosure, 3 double pull, double throw relays, and depending on the size of the project, we can add relay panels as well. And we would figure that out whenever we are designing the project with our engineering team. Our Q controller, one of the main reasons why people step up to our Q controller is because it is BACnet compatible. So if you're trying to integrate the gas detection system into a BAS, this would be the controller that you want to use. It has a touchscreen display, controls up to 128 sensors. So I think this will be able to pretty much cover any gas detection job that you may have. With this controller, it is a little bit, there's a little bit more going on. And so, with a lot more sensors, and being integrated into the BAS, we always recommend having a on-site startup with our engineer being in the field just to make sure everything's working correctly. When it comes to applications and where we see this the most, it's again the enclosed parking garages, but we also see them in car dealerships, especially like the service facilities. Where cars are parked and they're running as the mechanics are working on them. In that situation, you need both CO and NO2. warehouses, we see that, industrial applications. What's becoming a bigger situation for us is the boiler and chiller rooms. ASHRAE came out with a recommendation in order to install gas detection in boiler, chiller rooms, and refrigerant monitors. And there's kind of been a grace period of 2 years now. And so 13 states are requiring gas detection and refrigerant monitoring in boiler and chiller rooms. And that's just going to continue as well. So I definitely keep an eye out on that and the regulations with the boiler and chiller rooms. Fire stations as well, we see that depending on the state, marijuana grow facilities, we're also seeing that. And then battery charging stations, people don't think of it, but the battery charging stations a lot of the times require H2 or hydrogen gas detection as well. So those are kind of the main scenarios we're seeing gas detection in. These are the two configurations of our sensors, especially if you need CO and NO2. It just kind of depends on the situation. If it's an enclosed parking garage, it's normally installed on the middle scenario there, where you have the NO2 and CO2 sensors side by side, because even if the diesel vehicles are going to be cars and pickup trucks, and so the exhaust is going to be lower to the ground. Therefore, you're going to have both sensors about 5 feet off of the floor. In service facilities and car dealerships, we see the left scenario more, because sometimes you're going to have diesel vehicles with the exhaust towards the ceiling. And so you'd put the NO2 sensor a foot below the ceiling, and then the CO sensor 5 feet up from the floor. And then the right picture here, this is kind of what I was talking about earlier. If you know that you need gas detection and you're needing us to help you place the gas detection sensors, we have software that helps us place the sensors throughout the area that you're needing coverage. Each sensor, as I said before, has a 50-foot radius. We're able to place the gas detection sensors for you. Therefore, we're saving you some time, and we can send you back the plans with this placement. Therefore, you know that you're getting full coverage as well. I was talking about us versus our competition. Honeywell is our biggest competition. They are by far the most popular gas detection product. They sell pieces of gas detection, and then the installation company and engineers have to figure out how the gas detection is put together and kind of piecemeal together in order to create a full gas detection system, depending on what you're wanting. So there's not as much hand holding and not as much of a turnkey aspect with Honeywell. They were selling through buy-sell reps. However, they have let the majority go, and they're moving towards selling directly through wholesalers. So, one of the great things that we give is Lindsay is able to help through the whole process. Long does a great job when it comes to moving the project forward and making sure that everything's running smoothly. You're not really going to get that with wholesalers. Typically, it has the Honeywell has the typical large corporation support. You're not getting the support that we provide, long lead times, and sometimes stocking requirements. Another competitor of ours is McCurco. We have 55 gases available, and they do not. They have a limited amount of gas detection available. They only have 2 controllers, I believe, or we have 3 different controllers. They also sell directly through wholesaler. Minimal support, no engineering or wiring diagrams, no pre-programming before shipping, and no startup option available. Where we aren't sold through wholesalers. Again, we work with Long in your area. We sell the full package, So not just the gas detection sensors and controllers, but also the communication wiring, voltage wiring, the transformers that you need, the horn strobe, whatever you need gas detection wise, we can provide the full package. We also, as I said before, we provide the custom wiring diagram and custom engineering for each project. That way you get the custom attention for that project, and we program all of our equipment before shipping. Therefore, you don't have to worry about programming any equipment once it's on location. And as I said before, we have these online startup available. So we have the full package. And I just wanted to thank everyone for your time. I appreciate Lindsay for putting this on and letting me talk for a little bit.
Yeah, thanks so much, Miles. Really appreciate it. And again, if you guys have any questions about this presentation or any info, please reach out to your Long sales rep. Again, they do the full package and it is just specified to your needs and really just kind of custom to what you want. If you go to the next slide for us. Next week, the topic will be cooling your building with clean refrigerants with Jacob Wolf from M&M Carno with Jason Long. So tune in next week. And again, reach out to your sales reps with any questions. And Miles, thanks so much for bringing this to us from Hawaii.
Not a problem. Thanks again for having me.
All righty. Take care, everyone. Have a great day.